Good morning, day 115, cooking down the freezer, working pantry, and refrigerator. Well, I am really looking forward to this cup of coffee this morning. It's gray and gloomy again, no working outside, but I have certainly got a ton of things to plant on the inside. I just wish I could stick them outside when I'm done planting them, but it's still too cold. Still going down into the 30s at night, and I don't want to do all that work and have them not do well. So lots of projects to do inside yet, and I like to get those all done before I can start going outside. What projects are you guys working on? Inside, outside? Do you garden? You hate gardening? Do you cook? You hate to cook? What are some of your favorite things to do? So today is Friday, and I think Tom will probably want to go out and eat again, but I don't know. I don't really have any room in the fridge to go out and eat and bring more things home. So we'll see what the day brings. So I'm very happy I got all the monthly shopping out of the way. And now I'm waiting for my fence pieces to come. I went ahead and ordered them. I thought that was a reasonable price for fencing to keep my dogs safe. And hopefully it'll make the yard look nicer, because there are certain restrictions that I have, and I've already pushed the envelope. Nobody in the whole yard thing here has a yard like mine, so I don't want to get to the point where they get angry with me because they don't like what I have out there. It's really pretty once I get it all put together. This time of the year it looks ugly because everything is covered up, everything's shoved over to one side so the wind doesn't blow things away. But do you guys have an HOA that comes around with a paper and a pen and writes you little notes of what they don't like? If you live in an apartment, do you have a balcony? Do you like to garden on your balcony? Do you put a few pots of flowers out? Or do you just not want anything to do with any of it because you have a brown thumb? My thumb isn't always green. I know a lot of people think I have a green thumb, but you know, I have my successes and failures too. Some things grow better than others. Some things it's because of environment, some things it's because of operator error. I didn't give them the right soil or the right nutrients, or, you know, it's a complicated thing. You know, it's not always, okay, you stick a plant in the ground and that's the end of it. They have certain needs just like people do. But anyway, I love that saying, grow where you're planted. And if we do that as humans, then, you know, we end up being a happy little plant. All right. I loved Bob Ross. I really need to get back to my painting. But there's so much else to do. Well, I guess you got to make time for those things that you really love. People too. You got to make time for the people you really love. Don't be so busy that you can't fit time in for the people you love. Because they're not always going to be there, or you're not always going to be there. So I got to work on putting more things in my life that I really enjoy doing, and not always projects. All right, well, I will be back in a little while with breakfast day 115. So look at my tomatoes. I only planted them about, oh, what was it, 2.5 weeks ago? But they're getting really tall. I'm very happy. So these are the beefsteak, these 6, and these back here are all romaine. And I have them under this grow light. This was a lamp that I've had for years that I had up in the attic. And I just stuck a grow bulb in there, and it's adjustable. You can put it up and down. So any lamp that you have that points down like this, if you get a grow bulb, they're only $6 to $10 for a grow bulb. And yeah, it's been working great. So there's my tomatoes. And then over here, look, my red romaine is coming up. Let me focus, there we go. And my arugula, both of the little arugulas came up. Those two back there haven't sprouted yet. And this one over here still nada. So I guess it does make a difference as to what you put in there. And these might have been old seeds, so I'm just going to replant these. I do have one little guy in here. I don't know if you can see this, but the poor little thing, its roots are up here, and I don't think that's going to make it. So I'm going to start over again with this one, but I'm very happy with this because it's only been a few days. So I'm excited I'm going to have fresh lettuce. So these are all my Christmas cacti. I've got a lot of them. And I'd like to put those all in one pot. This is a southwest window here. And they like it here, but I really need to consolidate some of my plants. So, and then here I have orchids, but none of them are blooming. I have them up on this plant stand. So I have orchids here. I really need to do something with my plants. I've got a couple back there. And this one is really healthy, but it's never bloomed since I originally got it. But that's operator error too, because I really don't feed them enough. So anyway, lots of work to do. So over here I have a couple of Norfolk Island pines. This guy's gotten really droopy lately. I don't know why. It's not drying up, but this is a northeast exposure. So they've been there for a long time. And then this is my massive, I believe it's a Schiffelera, but I've had that here for years too, and it's just, I have a couple skylights up there, and it just likes it in here. Here's another little Schiffelera that's been growing like crazy, and this is my money plant. And that's a bamboo. So this is why I'll be very happy when I can get all my outdoor plants outside, because I definitely have enough indoor plants. So these are all the things I have to pot up. I tried something different. These are pepper plants that I just pulled out and just left them bare root. I want to try and plant those, soak them in water first and see if anything happens, and then try and plant them. So, but this is where I've been doing my potting. I just have a box here, and so, yep, that's a mess, and I can't use my washer and dryer until I get it cleaned up, which I want to do today. So someone was asking to see my working pantry. So this is it. This is also in my laundry room. And it's kind of a mess right now, but, you know, things go in and out there. Up here I have a lot of baking utensils, pots, or not pots, baking pans, and all the shapes and sizes. Here I have more baking things. This is bread flour, a little self-rising flour, various packets of this and that, my bread baskets, and I keep my iron in here too. Over here I have some pastas, and I try and keep everything in drawers as much as I can. These labels aren't right anymore. These are just plastic bags and things that I keep for food. And various pastas here, sugar, different, all kinds of different things. Let's see, salad toppings I keep in here, croutons and nuts and things. These are snacks, cookies and crackers. Over here I have things like agar-agar and pectin, and down here I have an assortment of crackers. Here I keep some drink things, the packets of drinks. And down here I keep some coffees and coffee pods, and down here I keep my dog food and a box of frequently used tools. So, and then here I keep other various things in the drawers down there. And then I have some extra things here. And here I have some of my snack things. I always keep some tortilla chips. When I went shopping, now I have a bag and, about, I don't know, a quarter of chips since I won't be going again. Here I keep my vinegars and different things, seasonings, just miscellaneous. This all needs to be reorganized. Here I have another snack drawer, and I like keeping things in these little drawers. Extra spices I have over here. Pastas, I have some beans in there, more extra spices. My cereal, a couple more snacks, some pretzels, soup seasoning, liquid smoke, just all kinds of random things that I use all the time. So that is my working pantry, and as you can see it's pretty full, and that I either restock it from things that I have down in my basement pantry, or as I use things and I need to restock things I use a lot, I just put them right in here. So anyway, there is my working pantry, and I'm not going to show you my long-term pantry because my grandson lives down there and he's a teenager and it's not the neatest place. So if I ever get down there and get things sorted out, I'll show you. And I do have a video of my working pantry. It's somewhere. If you click on the little hourglass or the search thing and put in the word pantry, it'll probably show up. I'm sitting here thinking about what I want to do in my outdoor garden. And then I started thinking about plans. So every year I like to draw out my plans on paper and pencil. And I like to write myself notes, and that's just the way I like to do things. So I was thinking about my garden. I'll use that as an example. And how every year I change things. And I'm thinking, why do I keep changing everything? I'm just making more work for myself, and I am. And I'm pretty good about doing that. So on further pondering, I thought, well, really the only time I change things is when I do things and they're not working for me. So then sometimes until you actually get into your plan, a physical manifestation of your plan, you don't know what works and what doesn't work. So either that, or sometimes you just see something new and you want the new thing. But I'm not talking about the something new. I'm talking about the plans that you originally made and made happen, and then all of a sudden you're changing the plan again because it didn't work. And the same thing happens with buying things. A lot of times when I buy something and I find something I really like, I'll stay with that product. I'll continue to buy it. But then what happens is they discontinue it. So then I have to buy maybe 2 or 3 new products that I end up not liking, and they sit around until I find something new. And it's the same way with my garden. I keep trying different plants and different configurations, what likes to be here, what likes to be there. And life is just an experiment. I mean, that's what it's all about. You just keep trying things. But it would be nice if, and some people have a knack for doing this. They do something, they get it done, and then that's the way it stays. Whether it's the best plan that they had or just a mediocre plan, or it works sometimes, they do it, they get it done, and it's over with. But I don't know if you're like me, but that's not what happens in my life. I like something, I either like something or I don't like something. And something for me either works or it doesn't work. I don't like that in between stage where, oh, it kind of works and then kind of it doesn't work. So for me, that's how I am. So are you that way? What do you guys do? Do you do something and that's the way it stays? Or do you buy something and you use it up whether you like it or not? Do you change things often? What do you guys do? Sometimes I wonder if I'm just the oddball or if a lot of people are the same way. So that's what I've been doing this morning, thinking about my garden, because now I have this fence coming. And I'm trying to figure out now what I've had out there. I've had out there for a long time, several years. And it's been working okay. It's one of those things that have been working okay. Some of the things that I've put up there have bigger gaps, so my dogs can stick their head through the bigger gaps. The little one can just totally get out of there, but she doesn't really go away. It's my Chloe that she has gotten out a couple times. And so then I have to figure out, okay, where did she get out? But she is the hardest one to contain. Bandit and Lizzie, they just kind of hang out. So, but she's taken off a couple times and I had to go chase her, and she hasn't run away. She'll eventually come when I call her, but I have to keep her safe because I have a couple streets. One street behind me is, there's a big a big frontage there, but that's a busy street and they drive pretty quick there. And then on the corner of the other side, same thing. So it wouldn't take much for her to get to either of those streets. And I would just be heartbroken if something happened. So now my thing is the fence and moving my garden so that it's more in the sun, which wasn't an option until God stepped in and knocked half my my Bradford pear down. So that actually worked out pretty well. But anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about making plans and executing your plans, and do they work, don't they work? I'm just curious, like I said, I'm just wondering if I'm the only odd man out or if a lot of you are that way too. So I think it's even harder if you have to do everything yourself. If you have a lot of disposable income and you can just say, oh, I don't like this, I'm going to hire somebody, and they come in and, they redo the whole room, or you hire a landscaper and they redo the whole yard, you know, and then you sit down with a consultant and you pick what you like. That is a little bit easier, but my wallet doesn't allow that. So for me, I kind of have to Mickey Mouse everything, and it's the Mickey Mouse process that doesn't always work. So I don't know. It's just life, I guess. So anyhow, I'll be back later, and I'll either talk or show you some more things, or I'll just come back with dinner. I want to see how the day goes. All right, it's time for brunch. Day 115. Do you guys eat 3 meals a day or 2, or do you snack all day? What are your eating habits? Mine are 2 meals a day and sometimes a little snack in between. All right, let's see. I think I'm going to have a piece of pizza this morning again, but I'm just going to have more traditional. And this is spinach, mushroom, and garlic pizza. So I'm going to have a piece of that, and then I'm going to freeze the other 2. But it was kind of a dry pizza, so I'm going to put some more sauce on. This was from the other day. I added pizza seasoning to it, and it's tasty, so I'm going to have that. And it wasn't very cheesy either, so I still have these last few pieces of my Aldi's cheese. I'm going to put a couple of those on there. And that's going to be what I'm going to have for breakfast. I'm not going to add a salad to it today. I might add a little bit of my red onion though, because I need to eat that. And I don't know. No, I think I'll make cucumber salad for dinner. Maybe I'll have that with some soup, or I don't know. I'll be back for dinner. Still have this salad. So we'll be back later for dinner. All right, I will meet you at the stove. Hey, here we are at the stove. So I'm just going to freeze the rest of this because I have too many other leftovers to eat. But I do want to eat this. And I like pizza for breakfast. So I'm just going to cut up a little bit of this onion, add some more sauce. Yeah, this pizza, it's from Aldi's. It's a Mama Cozy, I think, or whatever it is. And her pizzas are usually good. This one was a little bit on the dry side. I don't want too much onion on there, but I do want some. And I'm just cutting the onion very thin so that it'll cook a little bit when I warm this up. And this was just plain tomato sauce that I added pizza seasoning to. So if you don't have any pizza seasoning, get yourself a jar of pizza seasoning and keep that on hand, and some tomato sauce, and you can do all kinds of things with simple ingredients. You don't have to spend more for a jar of pizza seasoning. If you have tomato sauce on hand and a little spice jar of pizza seasoning. So okay, I don't like a lot of pizza sauce, but this one really didn't have enough. So I'm just putting that on, adding a little bit of onion here and there. Love onions on my pizza. If I had mushrooms open, I would put some of those on, but I don't want to open a thing of mushrooms just for breakfast, because then I'll have that hanging around. And then these are just a couple of the random cheeses. I'm not sure which ones this one is Gouda, and this one is something else. So I'm just going to put some of that on, because this was not very cheesy. Here, don't tell the others. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to melt that. Alright, sometimes we have to sneak little pieces in or everybody comes running. So there we go. Alright, I'm going to stick this in my toaster oven for a few minutes, melt the cheese, and have that for breakfast. And I'm just going to eat this piece. Okay, I'm going to stick these two in the freezer, and I don't want them to freeze together, so this piece won't fit in here. It's too big. So what I'm going to do, because this bag I use for cheese, I'm just going to stick this on top of this other pizza, because otherwise this bag I'd either have to wash it or throw it away, and that will separate the two. So instead of a piece of wax paper, I'm just going to use a used bag. And then what I like to do when I freeze things is I just like to let all the air out so it doesn't get frost. And then seal it. So there we go. I do have a, what do you call them? You know, where it sucks all the air out. But I'm not going to get that out for a couple of little pieces of pizza. So there we go. That's going in the freezer for another time. And I'll be back later when my pizza's done. Okay, there we have it. Breakfast day 115. An enhanced piece of store-bought pizza and some oranges. And that's not too not nutritious. You've got cheese, tomatoes, and bread, right? And spinach. And garlic. So I'd say it's healthy. All right, I'll be back later. Going here. These are all peppers that I just pulled out of the ground from last year. And I just put them in a box in the garage. And I know you can do that with geraniums. So I thought, well, you know what the heck. I might as well just try it with the peppers. Now last year I overwintered the peppers, but it took up a lot of room just, you know, growing the peppers in dirt and maintaining them. It's almost cheaper just to go buy new peppers. But I like to do experiments, so I just put all of them in some water, covered up all the roots. They don't seem like the stems don't seem like they're super dry. So I don't know, I'm going to leave them in water for a week or so and see what happens. And then I just potted up my grapevine, and you can see how tall it already is. So that's going up under the grow lights for a week or two until the weather warms up. And then here I have all my strawberries, different kinds. They're not looking real good. They're looking like they had already started to rot, but I'm going to go ahead and plant them anyway, even if some of them I could take them back to Mark's, but too much bother. I don't feel like going to the store again. So we'll see what happens, and if they do okay, then I'll plant them in my strawberry tower. Hello again. Well, I have a bunch of these Dollar Tree stackables, And they don't have holes in them, and these particular ones don't have a little thing on the bottom to pop off. So what I'm doing is just taking where they have the holes marked and making holes, and then I'm doing one in the middle too, because I want to put a rod of some sort through there so that I can stack them higher. So I'm just taking my iron and just making holes. This thing works really great. And then the one in the middle won't be big enough, but I can always go after it with a drill, and it won't crack because it already has a starter hole. So I'm just going to make holes in all of these, and then as soon as the weather starts getting nice, I'm going to start planting. So there's all the holes, and that way the water can run and water the rest of them. And because if you stack these up too high without putting a rod of some sort in the middle, they'll fall over because they're very lightweight. So I've been doing that. I planted some of those strawberries. I don't have a lot of hopes for those. They're looking kind of rotten, but we'll see. I'll give them a chance. Some of them might come up. And then some seedlings. I'm going to start some eggplant and peppers. Now peppers take a while to germinate, so I will get those started. Eggplants germinate pretty quick. So I think, now this is just my opinion, starting seeds the beginning to mid-April is a good time to start them, so you're not going to have them sitting around for weeks and weeks, and they'll start getting true leaves. So that's what I'm going to try this year. I don't want to plant things too early. The tomatoes I planted in March, and they're coming along nicely. But I'm thinking planting things too early, it just takes up too much room in the house, in my opinion. That's my opinion. And I'm in zone 6. I think it's 6A. Could be 6B. I don't know. Zone 6. So we'll see. All right, I'm going to get back to these. I think I have about 20 of these. So I'll make various ones throughout the container garden that I have outside. So here in my zone, you cannot plant anything outside till mid-May. So I figured a good month and a half of letting seedlings grow is plenty of time so that they're a decent size, and then you can just plant them into their home. Now I only do container gardening. I don't garden in the ground here. I do have flowers and things that I plant in the ground, but in the backyard everything is in containers, except I have a little perennial bed, and I'll give a tour, a before and after tour, but it's still too early for that. So I just had a brilliant idea. I was thinking, these are plastic, and these are about the same size as the little covers for the Aero Garden. So these are from the vertical planters. So if you have some of these, save them. You can stick them on on a plastic thing, and then you can use these to put over your little Aero Garden things. Just a thought. So every year, if I happen to be in the Dollar Tree, I pick up some of these when they have them out. Now they're always sold out like right away, but this year I found some at Family Dollar too, and they were still $1 as opposed to $1.25. So I grabbed those too, and every year I'll replace these because they are, a thinner plastic, but you know, it's worth it to pick these up, especially if you have a small space and you want to get into vertical gardening. These are great. And I know they have the, oh, what do you call it? The more expensive ones. But these are a cheaper alternative. And some of the ones that you get online actually have 4 little parts, but you know, this is good. You can set up 3 or 4 of them, whatever you have space for. Now this year they also had them in like a stone color and this pretty blue. So it, you know, it would even look nice if you have multiple colors stacked together. So, all right, I'm going to get back to making my holes. Now I was watching another YouTube channel, I don't recall which one it was, and she was setting up one of these stackable gardens. And her husband was drilling the holes, and what he did was he stacked several of them together and then took his drill and just drilled through the whole stack. So I thought that was pretty clever. It was a quicker way to drill through. So I thought I'd share that tip with you. All right, so I got all my planters ready, and then I went behind after I did the soldering iron, and I used a spade drill, and I drilled a 1/2-inch hole. So none of these cracked. Sometimes you have to be careful because these containers will crack if you just use a regular drill. And this hole is just big enough to go over those tall green garden stakes. And I have one of the garden stakes in one of my other planters out there. I put it in there last year, and it's never fallen over. So I think that's adequate. And we've had some pretty windy days throughout the year. So I did all of the planters, so they're all set to go when the weather warms up. I wanted to show you the seedlings from my pregnant tomato that I planted, I think it was last week. So they're doing really well. You know, sometimes plants, the volunteers are the ones that do the best because they're happy where they plant themselves. So there's probably 10 tomatoes in here, and I have another couple, 2, 3 of these. So I'm going to plant them and see what happens. I've done this before, and you do get tomatoes. So if you can't afford any seeds and you're eating tomatoes, give this a try. And some of these are getting true leaves already. So this is from the vine tomatoes that I bought in the store. It's not from the heirloom ones. Those I have to eat yet, and then I'll plant those. Okay, I planted my strawberry seeds. Red, pink, and white. And this is just an egg carton from Costco, and I put holes in it with my soldering iron. So this is going to go under the lights and on the mat, and we'll see if they come up. This was the one that was only 15 seeds, and they were 99 cents. So that's all you need. I mean, that's 15 of each. That's a lot of strawberries. Okay, I'll be back, see what else I'm going to plant. Okay, I think I'm going to hang up the gardening gloves for today. So far I've planted blueberries, blackberries, 2 different kinds of grapes, strawberry plants that I don't think are going to make it, but we'll see. 3 kinds of strawberry seeds, tomatoes. I still have to plant peppers and eggplants, and I'm going to spend the rest of the evening looking through my seeds and pulling out those things that I want to still plant. All right, well, I'm getting hungry and it's time for dinner. So let's see what's for dinner. Day 115. Dinner 115. Let's see. Oh, I have this salad that I think I'm going to eat. I should eat soup, but I'm really in the mood to eat the rest of my Olive Garden. So that's what I'm going to eat. And I think I'm going to freeze half my soup and eat the rest maybe tomorrow for lunch. Because tomorrow Tom and I are going out. So I think I'm going to call that good. I'm just going to have a salad and the rest of my Olive Garden. All right, I'll meet you at the stove. Well, I've got my salad with cucumber, romaine lettuce. I've got onion in there, some pepper. I think I might stick some croutons in there yet. And then I just want to finish up this little tiny bit of dressing. So, and I like to save these bottles because they're pretty. I like the shape of them. And they're nice for serving more salad dressing, or I put my syrups in here and put them over by my coffee bar. So I like to save these because they're glass. And everything nowadays is coming in plastic. And then I have my 5 cheese ziti, and I'm not even going to put these in a plate because I'm tired from all this planting. So, all right, my friends, I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself, be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you like this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.